Ladies first.
Okay, so my name is Penny. I'm a co-founder of ILA Global Consulting. So my work history, I've been working for foreign company that focusing on a foreign direct investment for many years, and then now we start our company ILA Global Consulting, which is focused on investment and legal advisory.
Okay. So my name is Florent. Call me Flo. It's easier. So yeah, I've been in Indonesia since 2015, especially living in Bali. So regarding my background, I would say I've worked in the finance industry for a few years, and in the consulting industry in Europe and also in other countries. I was really focusing on helping banks and also asset managers, but to improve, to develop also their activities. And while I came to Indonesia, I also manage companies in the market entry here, assisting also foreigners to come to Indonesia to make business, to expand their activities. This is what we do with Viva, where we focus really on the investment side with our clients, especially for example with Bukit Vista on the property. So we accompany our clients. Is it good to invest in this area? Is it Bali the right place to invest? If you want to invest to Bali, where should I invest? Or maybe I can invest in other areas such as Sumba or Lombok or other places. Bali is still a right place that is attracting a lot of our clients, but we have also an office in Jakarta where we focus also more on corporation and companies. We are willing to first option to create a new business here or to expand their business. It can be on different side. It can be on the investment side from the structuring of the company. How do we do our shareholding? How do we do our registration? How we do distribute our product? What kind of supply chain we need? And it can be also on the legal part to accompany them to make sure that everything that they will do in Indonesia is legal. But Bukit Vista, some people willing to invest in properties in Indonesia, sometimes difficult for them to understand how it works, what kind of returns they can have, can they rent it out property on Airbnb, do they need assistance, do they need legal documentation, regulation, local partner, etc. And also what is the taxation for them. So we also help on the tax planification. Is it better to have the revenue outside the country, inside the country? What will be their implication, I don't know, in Australia or in Singapore or Malaysia or France, depending if they have a company, etc. So this is basically what we do for our clients here. So I think what's like what we say with 2 decades is experience in guiding people or companies. I think the last 20 years between her and me. She's Indonesian, so she really know the country, and I saw also the country evolving, and I saw also the market changing. So the way we consult and the way we provide our feedback to our clients, I think has changed also the last few years. We have this business, I think, mindset or experience with different kind of investors, different kind of companies, and we can advise properly also for myself as a foreigner, because I know also how it is to invest in a place that is not yours.
A good thing is that from the past experience, the 2 decades that Ashwin mentions, is me as Indonesians also seeing like how the Indonesian evolving in terms of investment. When it was like 7 years ago, it's much more complicated. So we understand, we know how to adapt actually with the investment in Indonesia and how to navigate all of the clients, how to go, where to go, and how to invest. So I think that's also the vital things that we have as ILA for our clients. So yes, Indonesia is one of the flexible country actually for startup, for a new company. We have a lower tax, like for your corporate income tax, you can have for 3 years 0.5. Not all investor knows about that. From what Thorn has said is that our investor coming from Australia, coming from Singapore, even coming from the United States. So to adapt with their taxations in their country, how they can optimize their business in here. So we figure it out. We find a way. It's not that we don't pay tax. It's just how
Yeah.
we optimize your income and you still pay tax.
This is one very important topic because when somebody is coming from overseas and once they have the property, you manage the property and you help them to get the best income or with marketing, etc. But you always have this question behind for the people is what will be the consequence for me in my own country as an investor? What will be the exchange of data? Should I declare my tax in Indonesia? Should I pay my tax in my home country? This is very important question, and the optimization is part of that. Sometimes people invest as an individual. Sometimes having a corporation can also help to maximize this tax. So this is what we do with our client is we try to figure out based on the number. Our team are tax consultant people that can advise our clients on the best way. Each case is different. We need to have the prediction how much basically income people are going to make during the year, during the second year, and define what is the best way.
So that's how you
Yeah.
get your tax planning. So before you can optimize your tax, you need to have your tax planning. The tax planning is depend on the numbers. So when you found your property, you know how much that you buy, and then how is the forecast of the revenue that you will have, and from there that we can help you how to plan your tax. So the tax work is Indonesia, mostly the tax office will see from the first years how your company is doing. Okay, so they make their assumptions based on the first year, usually like that. So it's best to consult with the tax consultant, so you know.
You do this calculation, so it's not something that is new. However, it is important is to have a professional that can help you to maximize and optimize your
understanding,
your tax.
Yeah. So many of big corporations has their headquarters for Southeast Asia is in Singapore. So it's for them. It's also more familiar. So they understand how to invest in Indonesia is through Singapore.
So Singapore is a hub, is a great place where people are very familiar. They know that it's very modern and very stable. When you're an investor, what you're looking for is stability, because also you want to make sure that where you place your money, where you place your investment, it's stable, politically stable, economically stable. Tax stability is very important. So Indonesia gets the stability, and Singapore has a very good things. It's a very good place in terms of taxation. So one of the reasons also we help people Singapore, it's mostly for taxation, because we can help to structure between Singapore, for example, and Indonesia their planification.
Yeah.
We go back to the previous topic, how we help people to maximize or to optimize their tax is also with Singapore. For me, when you're from outside, like I said at the beginning, sometimes it's complex to understand where you put your feet. I have the same feeling, and I do understand the people who are investing. So how I work with excellence is I try to treat my client like the way I would like also that people treat me and reinsure me. So this is very important. For me, is client service is to reinsure the client and to communicate. Communication and trust is very important. Somebody that is investing $600,000 in a property or $200,000 in a property, it's a lot of money. This is a lot of savings, and this is a lot of money. And this person needs also to be understand. They need people to listen and to react in terms of service. This is my commitment or excellence. Communication is simple. It's I treat my client like I would like to be treated. And second, how we get the trust and the good quality is also by having the best people. So like I said, we were talking about tax consultants. The people that we have are quite good experience in Indonesia and also internationally. And have the best certification from the best school and most famous companies. Well, the only foreigner is me, so yeah.
So that's also the best thing to have Flo and me. It's a two different perspective at Isla. So me as Indonesians, how to understand the client as a foreigner and how to connecting the dot with the Indonesians. As on a legal part, let's say, oh, you need to come here, you need to connect here, you need to go to institution here. Say, okay, how to simplify that? How to give that information as efficient as you can to your client to make them understand.
Well, we had this case. You go to a place. Indonesia, you're supposed to make your building permit before to apply, before making your construction, and after you arrive to the place. And they tell you, no, we didn't make the construction, we make the SLF, but this is not a building permit. So some people will tell you, yeah, it's okay, you can do it. So it's difficult sometimes as a foreigner or as an investor. You come and people tell you, oh, it's okay, you don't need, and after you make research, the regulation tell you need.
Even for me, so me, I live most of is in Jakarta, and then it's just recently this year I moved to Bali and go back and forth Jakarta, and I said, oh, okay. So even in Indonesia, we have a different rule in every province. So
you don't have different rules. It's just you have a different way to apply the rules.
Yes. To apply the rules, exactly. So that's why I think it's challenging. Yeah, that is the complexity, and then that's how we collaborate. We try to find a way how to
we find a way.
Yeah.
And our strategy is really, I would say, to always be up to date for them. First on the investment side. When you say, is it good to invest in Bingin? Is it better to invest in Ungasan? Is it better to invest in Canggu? Is it better to invest in Lombok, or is it better to invest in Sanur? It's also to give them data, to give them information, to give them occupancy rate, is to give them information to help them to make the decision, the final decision. After how we do it, we make publication, we write, we discuss with also our partners, we make events, we make different article, publication. This is how we plan to continue to have this relation with our client, because what is important for our clients is to have the impression to be listened, but also to not lose time. So consistency is very important in terms of communication, to update, give the data, to update yourself with the regulation, and also they can also maximize their revenue, because at the end, why people invest, why people buy, is because they want to maximize their ROI, their return on investment.
Yeah, apart from that, as a one-stop solution, is not only stop until we help you to get everything done at the beginning. So to help the client growing is that we keep maintaining our relationship, being like keep up to date, even they have some problem, help them on a tax or help them in something else, and then looking for advice, where to go next, investing in which location, even outside Bali, or perhaps even more like say go to Jakarta or go to Bandung or go to anywhere.